So we're going to head to map number 1 here between these two Titans, and as much as I think this map is going to be quite close, I think most people, especially those in the arena, are most excited for later today's matchup, as there is no tomorrow.
And it is going to be Consulate for our map number 1, not Chalet, as was alluded to in the ban phase.
Attackers need to locate and defuse
FONTT
bombs.
starting things out on defense and starting things out on attack. They have brought a Blackbeard to the board. Looks like they're going to maybe go for either an A window push or a B window push. Both very typical attacks in this forum. Now, as you guys know, I'm very sure about this, every bomb site is defensible, which means that usually you'll have the attackers bring a lineup that could attack anywhere they please. If they need to go into the basement, they have that thermite prepped and ready. If they need to go into a top floor attack, they have the Blackbeard. The options abound.
Right. You don't have to deal with a situation where it's locked, so you can't tell exactly where they're going to go. And one of the things we've seen, similar to Oregon, whether they're going to go into the basement or they're going to go upstairs, is that you might even pick a site that you think that they will be thrown off by, which is why you need to be flexible in what you bring here. Now, on Consulate, I think this is a good map for both teams. I will agree with the analysts here, but I got to say for map number 1 that it's ENCE's pick.
Yeah.
If I'm FONTT, I'm feeling very comfortable with that as map number 1.
Yeah, I don't think that FONTT's good. Wow, what a run out from Astro. It's not going to see anyone. He has Chalet underneath his scope, and he will peek around at the perfect moment, take out Astro. A nice attempt at a run out there, but Chalet was in the single blind spot that Astro had because of his holographic sight.
Wow, and that's unfortunate to lose one of these roamers, because of course Consulate is a map that you are able to do so much work by being able to hold down that open area and the rest of the first floor too if you need to. They've already lost Astro so soon.
I guarantee you are going to see that run out quite a lot in ranked moving forward, so make sure you pre-aim that admin window. Now we have ENCE. They have established admin control. Like you said, very important. The fact that Astro was unable to delay at all or get a single kill is monumental. Now, as they start to push forward towards the main reception desk, they're going to be met with quite a lot of barbed wire and instead take this nice and slow. They have plenty of time. They don't need to rush themselves here, so may as well look at every single option available to you. And when you've got Mute stalling up your drones, you got to employ that Twitch.
There's some Twitch drone work in the hallway. They've shut out all this wall, which is where Gohan will be situated, just outside of, or just inside of A, rather. You can see that Boonsy's going to try to flush him out, repelled from above. If he's able to distract Gohan, then you can see that Panari would be able to push in. At the moment, though, Gohan getting under fire from that desk. And now they'll all try to crush it. Panari, a big kill, and ENCE goes up by 2 with just over a minute left to play, and they have full control now. Cameraman will have to get towards the site and play underneath. That is going to be critical to stop any plant that might be going down, as now Moringa's going to have to try to rotate up towards A. They do spy him and manages to shoot that Toxic Babe out of the air, and he takes some damage in the meantime, and Cameraman on the flank gets a kill, and you can hear that Brazilian crowd roar as FONTT finally gets on the board, as we have 45 seconds left in the round.
Moringa going to go down as Panari peeks into the connector. And that's now putting it into a 2-on-4, but the C4 is going to even things out. No, it won't! Cameraman misses! What has happened in Mav, the last one with the C4 downstairs with only 25 seconds in the round. The plant needs to start going down. The heartbeat sensor has been disabled. The only thing they could do is use those Valkyrie cameras to possibly deny with C4 from below. That's the only way FONTT can win this round, and no, the defuse planter goes down. Mav going to get a C4 kill onto Panari, though. That's a good start to this 1 versus 4. Possible he could come back, but no. Chalet locks things out. A very well-executed round there from ENCE. I especially like the fact that once they started coming into the admin office, they didn't trip over themselves, rush into the bomb site. They simply took a step back, established that, okay, we've got a minute 40, and we can take our time. And look at this crowd. Despite FONTT losing the round, they're very happy.
That was a nice, strong performance from ENCE, and something that we're only able to do one time against Evil Genius, which was win the very first battle. Evil Genius took maps, rounds 1 and both maps 1 and 2.
Right.
This is something that's already off to a good start, and we touched on this too, is that it's really going to come down to which ENCE shows up today. Are we going to see the ENCE that looked practiced and poised to capitalize on mistakes yesterday, or are we going to see the almost too deliberate hesitation in ENCE that we'd seen before that has cost them so many opportunities to advance at lands.
And see, that's a big question. With a lot of teams, which team is going to show up, right? That's a kind of broad question, right? No, with ENCE, it's very specific because at every single season, they have played well through the online season. They've done absolutely destroyed the teams in their region, and they've managed to make their way to the LAN event. But immediately, once they hit that LAN event, they kind of flip a switch and become something that we're not familiar with, that nobody wants to see play. So with ENCE, again, a very important question is who's actually going to be playing here. Is it the ENCE of LAN or the ENCE of online that we're used to, that we want to see? Now, it is going to be a basement defense here from ENCE to start things out on their first defense round. They are going to go for a pretty typical setup. However, Wilkie is on the Capcan rather than bringing a Mira. Mira, not a... Wow, cameraman going to be lit up quite a lot there from Kanto Raketti, but no kill for either. The fact that Kanto got away with that scot-free is honestly kind of odd, I would say. Usually that's the sort of peak that's going to get you killed pretty quickly.
With the recoil that's been added to Ella's Scorpion as well.
Yeah.
He was there for quite a while, almost exhausted that entire 51 bullet magazine, but they couldn't do it. It was just inside a circle desk, and now you can see a reception rather, and Mav will open up that doorway, and he's still pinned in there. Now, cameraman on a sliver of health could get reset at some point, but that doesn't appear to be a priority as some drone work from Mav being done. They're going to try to just simply get him if he chooses to move. If Kanto does pop up, Mav is there poised to strike, spending a lot of time on that. He does see Wilkie. So I'm not certain if he knows that Kanto is still there. Could just think it's the Capcan, but a lot of time being used on the roamers, which is exactly the point.
Yeah, and it's very wise of Kanto Raketti not to peek up on that spiral desk in the main lobby. But meanwhile, FONTT has taken control over that top floor since ENCE hasn't placed any focus on it in this round, which is kind of abnormal. Usually if you're going to have a roam game, it'll consist of a split between the top floor and the middle floor. But no, ENCE is focused entirely on the middle floor. Kanto Raketti going to be marked out in that spiral desk, and as a result, is going to start getting pushed flat.
And Mav's going to push up now, but Kanto gets away with that kill, and that's a big lead off here to establish a firm footing for ENCE. As you can still see cameraman low on health, that's essentially going to mean that you only have the full health of 3 operators, and cameraman is just 1 shot away from certain peril. They also just spent almost 2 minutes trying to flush out 1 roamer in the main lobby. Not a good use of their time. But you can see Gohan is positioned on the yellow stairs. He can get down now. A frag will go off just around the corner. And it'll get one of the barbed wires, but an early smoke from Boonsie will allow him to push up, as it looks like Moringa is inside the site or now has backed off. They have opened one of the panels on the garage, and Astro now, they're still trying to shake Kanto Raketti, and he just will not stop. He persists inside of that circular desk inside of the lobby. He will get drone from cameraman, and now he's going to move. Will Astro be able to get there in time? Kanto expects a push, and look at that, 3 of them go on behind him, and he's done for. Cameraman's going to get the kill, and that's some nice retribution, as ENCE still holds a good spot because they are in perfect time. But look at the clock. Penari's going to shred Astro, and a C4 from above, but doesn't get anybody. Gohan a refrag onto Boonsie, and the plant goes down for Moringa, but Gohan gets shredded, and they stop with that diffuser. Now Moringa goes down, a joint combo of the Yokai and the pistol. Penari and ENCE takes the round, and they are up 2-0.
Good round there from ENCE. And it honestly comes down to one simple fact: patience. If ENCE had not been as patient as they had been in that round, they probably would have lost. I mean, a spiral desk roam does not normally work. You're so exposed. You've got people who can come at you from Visa. You've got people who can come at you from the desk hallway. You've got people who can come at you from just the front door. You are one of the most exposed positions in this map. But Kanto Raketti somehow made it work for him. He stalled out that round and established only 30 seconds for FONTT to be able to actually push the bomb site. Now, it is going to be 2-0 in favor of ENCE, and the crowd continuing to cheer their team on. FONTT know that there is still potential for FONTT to start this comeback. They have gone on to a different bomb site. Instead of trying to go upstairs again, they're going to rotate, and that's very wise.
Their enthusiasm will not be diminished at all by a bit of a slow start for FONTT.
10 seconds remaining.
I said that statistically, this is a very good map of FONTT. They were undefeated in the regular season. They played them in the Brazilian land tourney that they had just a couple weeks ago. Did very well as well. And I think ENCE must have known to locate a bomb. Now, yesterday, with the maps that we saw on Oregon and Border being selected, which are Evil Genius's best maps, we thought that ENCE had lost the map.
Right.
But they ended up winning the series regardless.
So it's clear.
It's clear that maybe there was something else going on in the background.
Right.
Maybe different strategies on different maps. Maybe a confidence there. Maybe they saw things in their play that they thought they could exploit, and exploited they did. Now, at the onset, I said that I thought that both teams should be, the analysts said that both teams should be happy about this. I would have given the advantage to FONTT in favor of the maps that they are playing, just at first blush. But it might be too early. But ENCE is already performing a lot better than I thought they would against a team that usually runs rough sod over their opponents on console.
Absolutely. I mean, I would say I kind of agree with you, but I think that both of these teams are going to be having a good time on all three maps. I mean, Oregon's kind of any team's map, right? Clearly they're favorites, but in this matchup, I think they're both going to be fine. Consulate's kind of the same thing. It's a well-balanced map, and if you put in the work to counteract what the team how the other team defends, how the other team attacks, there's plenty of room for you to execute on better than them. Now, Chalet, I would say, is kind of the mix-up map. It comes down to a lot of what Bloodbath was talking about on the analyst desk earlier. Has ENCE fallen out of favor on Chalet? Are they a team that was only good on Chalet as of old, or are they still well-practiced on that map? I think that they're still well-practiced. I think that they've put in a lot of work on that map still, even as of recent, but there's every possibility that, similar to Rogue, they've fallen out of the Chalet's understanding.
Just for me, simple thought is that why would you... Oh, what a shot from Bootsy to deny the C4. Good reflexes there to cut off the explosiveness. Kanto gets lead-off kill, and that's ENCE getting the first kill again, but Astro adds to it. Wilkie now jumps on Gohan, and Mav looks to go down to Kanto, who's just going to walk in and kill them all. Panari onto Astro, and now it's just Moringa, who is well off site. And things for FONTT falling apart at the seams. As you can see, the diffuser successfully planted. Now Wilkie from above will greet Moringa. He sees his feet, and that is the smoke sustaining some damage, and Chalet finishes him off, and ENCE looks simply unstoppable, up 3-0.
So, a great read there from ENCE. What did they do? They simply opened up the garage panel and walked in. There was nothing, not one thing in place from FONTT to stop that push, unless you count a mute playing at Black Car. That's a dangerous position, and he just didn't play it correctly. He got too exposed with that wide peak, and it ended up costing his team the entire round. The C4 catch there from Boonsy also could be something you could attribute the round to. Now, I will say from experience that shooting C4 mid-air is so much easier at LAN. Like, it is super difficult online, but at LAN, it's really not that complicated. But at the same time, that does not take away from the fact that that is an excellent reaction on Bootsy's part, and it did, again, contribute significantly to that round victory.
You get the C4 goes off, it takes Boonsy down. That's your Blackbeard, who can use the panels to his advantage that are reinforced with that shield to hold the covering fire as that diffuser goes off. Now, the diffuser wasn't rush planted. They did simply go out and take a couple kills or a couple lives of FONTT before the diffuser could
establish control.
But yes, they did have full control. If Boonsy falls, the whole push does not unravel at that point. There is still a very high likelihood that you are at a 4v4 at that exact moment. You can still successfully pull it off. But by failing to take him down, you've now lost one of the strongest parts of playing there, which is area denial, and now he's simply caught out of position, trying to outgun the face shield of a Blackbeard with an MP, which is possible,
right,
but not likely.
Right, you are, and now we're going to be seeing a top floor defense. This is the first time that ENCE has gone upstairs, and they have gone with a pretty typical lineup. They got the Valkyrie for those cameras outside on Consulate, using those spawn peaks to their advantage. The one thing from both of these teams I would say is that is surprising is Moringa on the Capitao. Not very commonly seen on Consulate, but I would say actually Capitao has been finding himself extremely in favor in this tournament, specifically this tournament, not in the most recent like regular seasons. This tournament, maybe it has something to do with the fact that we're in Brazil, maybe it has something to do with the fact that these teams are trying to incorporate the smokes more into their strategies and don't want to worry about those ADSs. We obviously can see there's no Thatcher on Team FONTT, which means dealing with ADSs can be somewhat a bit of a nuisance.
And I think we might have even seen as much Capitao as Sledge. I would like to actually see, Astro's going to get disoriented by Kanto, who will get shot at through that unreinforced garage from Mav, and he is not in good position. as it's very easy for Mav to just come right in. He's going to get tagged up, and he's going to need to move, but Astro finishes him off, and FONTT gets their very first kill of the round to give themselves an advantage in numbers right off the start. But half of the timer has been expired. So you lose your first roamer. They've done a pretty good job. 90 seconds killed, and all you managed to do is take control of Garage. Mav is going to go into the traditional Blackbeard spot, but at the moment, there's nobody else to give him any supporting fire. So Gohan from above works away at that closet wall. Astro will have to work up, but Mav changes his mind and heads down.
So despite that Cantor Kitty roam clear happening at about 140 left in the round, we're now 40 seconds forward, and we have not seen any sort of progression from FONTT. They are just waiting for their opportunity, I guess expecting the enemy team, the defenders, to push into them. And as you can see, as they try to get up these yellow stairs, Wilkie's going to be at the top with plenty of Ela mines and will actually get the first frag of this push onto Astro, which is not what you want to be seeing when your only point to push is those yellow stairs. You need that control. Wilkie cannot be allowed to maintain his position. They do have the B bomb site for the most part opened up from below, but Wilkie can also deny that through the wall if it's left unreinforced, and I believe it is.
And the other thing, too, is that that's not a push that Astro does.
Oh,
Wilkie's going to get a second kill at the scene of the crime on yellow stairs, and now Cameraman's going to try his luck, too. And Wilkie almost gets a third, but Cameraman prevails. He's going to see Bootsy and Chalet, a big explosive C4. The grenade goes in, and Chalet runs in. That's a double for him. Diffuser going down, but Bootsy adds to it. And are we already on match point? It feels like we just got started.
This is one of the fastest match points we've had in this entire tournament, contrary to what you might believe. This is actually going faster than a lot of the APAC maps, to be honest. And it's vicious the way that ENCE is tearing FONTT apart right now. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that ENCE is being just ridiculously patient on their defense. You could see their FONTT, that entire round, they were waiting for more kills to walk into them. And the kills just didn't appear magically for no reason, because ENCE is conscious of the way that FONTT is conducting themselves and is trying to counteract that.
A lot of heavy discussion going on in the booth of FONTT right now as well. All members looking at one another. You do not want, you absolutely do not want to be pointing fingers and trying to figure things out, and it does not seem like a very friendly discussion at the moment, or at least did earlier, but I'm sure under pressure they will be fine. Of course, this isn't a start that you want on your home turf to be down. Now, need we remind everybody, this is, of course, ENCE's map.
Yes.
But FONTT is undefeated in this entire season here as well.
Then they played quite a lot of this.
And they have played quite a bit. From my understanding, I believe they played Consulate 4 times in the regular season. And Consulate and Bank were both maps that we saw the Latin America region favor very heavily over others. And because of that, you would assume that FONTT would play very well here. As well, another thing too is, need we say it again, this is Penta's map. If you are not good on Consulate and you don't ban it, you're going to have a bad time.
You know, there's a lot to be said about map preference when it comes to this. Obviously, yes, FONTT likes this map. They like Consulate. But how many times did they play it again? 4 times. That's quite a lot in a season, isn't it? And what do those 4 times give Team ENCE to take away from the regular season?
Lots of FODs and footage to counter-strat. And that's one of the things, too, and this is something that plagued Excellence at LAN last year, was that they showed up to face Penna in the first round using very similar strats that they used during the regular season. You simply cannot do that. You have to bring new tricks, new tools, new strats, because in the weeks between the final game and LAN, all they're going to do is dive as deep into your VODs as they can, find the smallest weakness, and break it wide open.
Now, this is interesting. Cantor Raketti is rappelling upside down above the piano room, and there is not one player from defense of FONTT attempting a run-out. Panari is waiting for said run-out, but I am honestly a little bit surprised there. They just allowed that garage panel to be opened up with no contention whatsoever, and that just doesn't seem like FONTT to me. I would have expected them to get a little bit more aggressive there. Now, of course, we are on match point, but it's not series point. There's still room to maneuver and room to recover for Team FONTT, even if we move on to the next map here. So I kind of hope that FONTT isn't already getting into a bad mindset here.
I was going to say, in addition to the fact that they did not seem to be having a very jovial conversation amongst one another, also just simply the fact that they do not appear to be running that hyper-aggressive strategy that we've seen of their team. One thing that is working in their favor right now, even though they haven't really contested much, is that Kanto's going to walk right in. He's going to see Moringa. And how does Kanto walk away with that? He's now taken possession along with Panari, and Chalet eliminates Gohan. This is absolutely falling to pieces, and we could be seeing a 5-0. Boonsy's going to wait as they break the hatch, and now Cameraman preps the C4. It goes out, but there's nobody there, and Boonsy punishes him. It's fallen apart at the seams. Astro from above, he goes down. Not just a flawless game, but it's all up to Mav, and it could be a flawless round. He sees Kanto. They exchange words. Kanto goes down, but Mav's position is known. Up comes Panari. Flawless round, flawless map point, and we have it. Map 1 goes to ENCE 5-0.
I am
And listen
speechless
to how quiet this crowd is right now.
That was absolutely vicious from ENCE. FONTT stood almost no chance. And nobody expected that. Not one person expected that.
Nobody expects
Don't
a
you
5-0.
tell me you're thinking that ENCE is going to 5-0 FONTT on the first map of Consulate. All maps, Consulate.
Right.
That makes almost no sense. And it really caught me off guard. But that was just beautiful play from ENCE. A lot of it comes down to, though, and we saw, especially in that last round, many engagements that both teams entered into were just, ENCE just came out on top. They're just basic fights that FONTT could not win. Even slanted fights in favor of FONTT, FONTT could not win. For example, of course, Kanto Raketti pushing in, getting hit by that Ella. The guy inside of Bathroom, he was not flashed. That flash was long expired. The Ella was quite live, and Kanto still won that fight. That's not supposed to happen.
Remember the last round when Moringa is smoke holed up in there? Kanto is disoriented and pushing in at an angle that he doesn't know with barbed wire there. And Moringa's in there. He knows that Kanto is disoriented. He knows that he's going to hit the barbed wire, and he still lost that fight.
And there was the Blackbeard challenging the very abnormal angle of the top CEO drop down all the way through piano floor, all the way down into garage. He's challenging that angle, which is uncommon, against an Ella, one of the best who has one of the best guns in the game, I would say, on defense especially. And he still manages to win that fight. What is happening with ENCE right now? They are just on top of things, and FONTT doesn't seem to be here.
For me, I saw more mistakes than I saw anything. And this is something that was brought up yesterday, was these are not necessarily like, they're not capitalizing. These are big mistakes. These are not little mistakes. These are big mistakes. The fact that Boonsy's able to walk up, they only have one panel blown on that garage. That's it. Not two, just one.
That's really hard.
So there's covering fire. You still have those two reinforcements that you as a defender can sit behind. Boonsy's able to walk right up to that opening, and the only person that contested him whatsoever was on pipes. That's not right. You should have somebody there to do that. The C4 from Cameraman, not even in the same zip code.
Yeah.
And it just, there was no pressure whatsoever. ENCE walked in. FONTT just simply looked like they were playing scared, too conservative, and interestingly enough, that FONTT play looks like the way that ENCE plays when they're back on their heels.
You're absolutely right. That's a good observation. This appears to be ENCE of previous lands, and now they will not be disheartened. They will maintain what they have attained right now, and that's awesome. I really want to see them continue this play moving forward, but we also need to see from FONTT something a little bit more get back to the regular selves.
They
Start going
need to
for
play.
aggression.
They smother people. That's how they win.
Kanto Raketti can't be allowed to repel outside like that for free. Let's take a look at the replays from that map and see how it was that ENCE came to that 5-0. Now, yeah, again, there's just little things.
This right here, I think, was emblematic. I'm going to use a different word.
First try.
This was very telling of how they were going to play. They could not get Kanto out of that lobby, and they tried. They threw 3 bodies at him and exhausted almost 2 full minutes to get rid of 1 player. And then what did you try to do? You try to attack the site. You've still got your yokai up. You've still got all the operators as your anchors and support. There was just no contest whatsoever.
I also really like how ENCE has doubled up on all of the things they know that need to be done. For example, the Echo drone, the yokai. It was not left alone to deny the defuse plant at the front of white. It was left with Panari sprinting at that defuse plant with his pistol out. And here's that engagement that you're not supposed to win, Kanto Raketti. No. You're supposed to lose that. That is a lost fight. Chalet takes out Gohan before the C4 could be detonated, and it's just a lot of the same here from FONTT. It seems like they're relying a lot on that C4 play for the front of white after the garage panel has been opened up, and it's just continually not working for them because ENCE is in a good position to either kill the player throwing, shoot the C4, or just be out of the way.
It was also a very smart idea for them to not open that entire garage up as well.
Yeah.
One thing to keep in mind is that a lot of teams just think, okay, we'll get panels 1 and 3 open, boom, we can just push in. The other thing is that as that reinforcement protects the defenders, it also protects you.
Oftentimes, people forget that angles are 2 ways. Like, the attackers don't just want to open up everything, not all the time. Now, usually that's pretty, yes, of course, that's what they want. They have the outside perspective, but it's not it's not just one, it's two-way angle. You can fight back on that. And having that cover, like you talked about, can sometimes really deny a lot of information and give you hard, solid cover to hide behind to just push into that white van, which is ultimately where you're going to be going anyway.
And that's where the push exactly came from.
Yeah, exactly.
It came from the reinforced panel. Number 2 ran in front of the white van. With that said, a commanding 5-0. We are going to head to map number 2 and matchup number 2 between these two juggernauts, FONTT versus ENCE on Chalet.
FONTT starting out on attack, ENCE starting out on defense, and this is going to be the make it or break it moment for FONTT. They need to establish a good lead here and push this into the third map, and I think the crowd is certainly expecting it of them.
Absolutely. They'll start off in Trophy and Kitchen. Nothing outside of the norm there. It is your go-to site now. One of the more frustrating sites to attack if you don't have the utmost coordination. And right now, if you're playing as FONTT, they didn't look quite so well tuned.
Yeah, no, I think this is going to hurt FONTT. Well, okay, I don't think it's going to hurt FONTT. This is going to fall right into their expectations. But yes, you're right. They need to be coordinated in order to effectively execute onto this bomb site. There's no way that you can simply just kind of go at it in a pug strategy and just do whatever you please and get away with it. That's not going to work. But they have brought a Jackal. And the Jackal's going to help quite a lot because with Chalet, we've talked about this before, it's a big deal, your roam game. If you have the roamers be effective, then it's likely that you will win your defense. If the roamers get shut down, then you have to worry about defending just from Trophy because you can't hold from Dining effectively. You can't hold from Kitchen effectively. You are most certainly going to be pushed all the way back to Trophy to hold both the bomb sites, and that's not an easy task. Especially considering FONTT have a sledge and a buck. That's probably going to happen pretty fast that you get that pushed all the way back.
They're going to have a lot of opportunity to open the entire thing up, like a nice big entire team of cannons. But yeah, one thing too is that FONTT needs to get some credit. Their drone game was actually quite good. They were able to find the roamers really fast. They just never capitalized on it, and that's a significant issue for them. So bringing a Jackal, I don't even know if Jackal is going to be that vital because you saw with Kanto, they found him right away. Whenever he was roaming, they could lock him down. They just couldn't flush him out.
They kept losing fights.
Right.
That's what I think it was. FONTT just keeps losing fights. And sometimes games at this level do come down to that very simple fact. You do need to win your fights. If you put yourself in an opportune moment to actually kill someone on the other team, you need to be able to capitalize on that opportune moment. And such as droning out a roamer and having your teammates drone out one of the roamers, you need to be in a position as a hunter to be able to kill that guy. And if you lose the fight, well, then yes, of course you're going to have a bad time on that round.
Right, and that's why I don't know how well a Jackal is going to fare unless they're thinking of a smoke plant strat, which is why we see Jackals get brought too.
Yeah.
But not always necessarily the case. And they've been very ineffective at being able to eliminate any of the roamers. But Gohan gets a kill on Nishate. That's the dock down. And goes the sustain as well as that ACOG. That's a crucial first kill. And hopefully, if you're a FONTT fan, or a fan of FONTT, then that's going to imbue you with some hope that this map is going to go a little bit differently. And now goes Panari, a great shot from Mav, perched up on top of that balcony. And FONTT takes a numbers advantage of 2. A frag grenade thrown down by cameraman, but nobody there and nobody home. Wilkie, I guess suspecting a push, he'll take out a drone long range and look to get back on site as we hit the final minute.
Okay, I'm really worried right now, Intero. We just saw 2 players be eliminated due to not needed aggression. Chalet and Panari both being eliminated because they're pushing into what is the clear from above. But that's not the strat, guys. The strat is hold library, hold trophy, deny the defuse plan. At least that's what it appears to be. And if you don't stick to the strat, if you go for this uncalled for aggression, you're going to lose more players.
But now look, 30 seconds and they're still they're circling. They haven't been able to really get in. The smokes are going to go off, and it does look like it's going to be a trophy window push. Wilkie's going to get Astro down. You can see a couple of them are going to look to jump in. Gohan takes out Boonsy. That's his second. They are all in. Wilkie gets a triple kill for Wilkie. Can he go for a 4th? He sees Gohan. Will he get pressured from above? Kanto on the rotate. He takes down Gohan. And now what was in favor of FONTT is firmly for ENCE. Time is going to run out, and ENCE somehow pulls this out of the hat, and they win their 6th round in a row.
I want to take a second to admire the play there from Wilkie. That was absolutely beautiful. You know, people have really beaten down on Wilkie a lot in the past. He is seen as just the in-game leader, just the strategist, just the guy the glue that holds ENCE together. But that round, he stepped up and he filled the role of Chalet, who died very early on, of Panari, who died very early on, roaming up in library. and he got all the frags that his team needed to be able to deny the round to FONTT, who, like you said, absolutely earned that.
That was a round that FONTT should not have lost, which seems to be a common theme playing against ENCE, is that you're not supposed to win those rounds, and ENCE is consistently doing it. And if I am either Penta or Black Dragons, if ENCE makes it out of this contest, my worry level is steadily increasing.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I think that if ENCE makes it to the finals, which at this point seems possible, if not probable, then you're right, yeah. The other bracket is going to be kind of, well, at least they have this VOD to study. We got ENCE going up against FONTT first, which means that they're going to be paying close attention no matter who it is. All that aside, though, it's great to see the aggression from ENCE paying off. And it's well timed also. We saw Cantorketti, right, and Panari, they were both roaming inside of the library. Now the plan here for ENCE was very simple. Maintain control over trophy. From there, we can deny the bomb sites. Once the attackers start opening up things and start pushing into the bomb sites, we push our library players out of library and start the retake. Ooh, dancing with death there. Cameraman actually going to fall back into it. Will take a little bit of damage, but still manages to walk away, given that he is a 3 armor. If that had been Astro, Moringa, or even possibly Gohan and Mav, we would have seen 1 kill on the board already.
If we had recoil patterns, we would have seen them too, because if you notice 2 of the shots, the R4C bucked upwards just over the drone hole.
Yep.
With recoil patterns, he could have very easily controlled that, and down would have gone Cameraman. So, alas. We will see if that will change at all, if or when.
Cross your fingers.
Cross your fingers.
Nate from Cantorketti going to open up that door. They are conscious of this FONTT roam downstairs, and they really want a piece of it. Mav going to be the first one to receive the push from Trench, and he's got a daunting task, to be honest, because honestly, ENCE through and through, they have been winning these fights. They see a target, they fight said target, and they almost always win. Really need FONTT to just be able to win the basic fights.
You know, one thing that we said yesterday about Infamy on the analyst desk is that they seem to play really loose, and they played really well because expectations were not as high.
Yeah.
I think ENCE might have finally said, you know what, we've lost so much. Go on a big double, down go Kanto and Chalet. And wow, ENCE now finds themselves in a 2-member hole early into this push. And I say early into the push because even though we're halfway through the round now, the push is actually starting. They will smoke that drone hole. Candela's going down. I like the Ying play. Cameraman's going to get pushed, and he's asleep at the wheel, and Wilkie gets a frag, and he will start to plant at that bearskin run, but Gohan gets 1! He goes for 1, but he can't get it. Astro takes it instead, and now Panari comes in. He doesn't see Gohan. He goes for the kill. Can't do it. FONTT wins their first round, and that crowd goes wild.
As you can see, everybody here in Brazil, Sao Paulo, very excited for their team getting their first round of this best of 3. We're on map number 2, and ENCE did manage to take Consulate 5-0, but now the cheering will not stop. Not sure if you guys can hear it, but it is roaring on. FONTT going to be going on to attack. ENCE going to be going on to defense. It's going to be the basement. Now, FONTT haven't had the best luck on attack so far, but they did last time deal with trophies, so there's plenty of room for interpretation here. As you can see, Gohan doing almost all of the work. I think he got a technical 4K there, I believe, because he downed
him, but Astro finished him.
Yeah, so technically a 4K. I would count it as such, and a lot of it has to do with that C4 when he threw it outside the window. But I would like to touch on the fact that despite Gohan's performance there in that round, it does come down, it was beautifully played, but there's a lot of things that I think maybe it was a little bit difficult for ENCE to account for. C4 coming out of that kitchen window, and then more importantly, they just barely missed Gohan on top of that trophy case. He was waiting just inside the smoke and pushed out at the perfect moment. You're talking about some serious timing there from Gohan that just, honestly, I don't think ENCE could have dealt with in any way.
And these are 2 rounds that, I mean, the first round could have very easily gone in favor of FONTT.
Exactly.
If I'm ENCE, I'm feeling that my momentum is starting to fall, and, you know, you're cooling off at that point, if I can, I guess, mix metaphors. But ENCE needs to tighten this up, because having that loose style of play is good in a sense that you don't have to worry about overperforming. You don't have to worry about thinking it through too much. But Kanto gets pushed out of library very early on, not even 45 seconds into the round. And you'll see he'll have to move. They are circling in on him very, very quickly, and he's now been pushed into office, where he will sit and not surrender himself to the attacking forces.
Like you said, ENCE, they do need to lock it up. The ongoing conversation with this match is really all pressure on ENCE right now, because we have seen so many times them fall back into their regular selves of land, of just not being able to perform here, and nobody wants to see that again. I mean, even fonts of... See, I just did it.
It's
even
a tongue
fans
twister.
of FONTT
fans
don't
of
want to
FONTT.
see people fall backwards, or ENCE specifically fall backwards like that. And I think it really is telling of the level of expectations that they've had in the past, really, and how people weren't expecting that much of them going into this series, and now they've made it into the semifinals. The expectations are slowly rising and building up. Now, FONTT, they have started the roam clear. They've taken out the library roamers, and they forced people back to the bomb site. The defaulters will be simply waiting. Now, ENCE is, again, in this series, so far notorious, I would say, for their patience. And FONTT really need to get more aggressive, start pushing in, and winning the fights of the anchors now.
That's one thing that FONTT's already done a lot better so far in Chalet,
Yes.
is be aggressive.
And there you go.
Gohan's going to pick up his 7th kill of this map on Panari. Down goes your Bandit. No worries about Bandit tricking anymore, though I would say he shouldn't really be worried too much to begin with. Wilkie's going to circle in, or rather push in, and it's going to be a standoff at the moment as Cameraman goes on to do drone duties, and he will see the Valkyrie, who will now need to push. He sees Gohan. He lights up both of them, but can't capitalize, and he'll inch away.
Wilkie gonna play this a little bit safe. He's going for the peeks around in the bushes, and you can see he's just trying to stall it as much as possible. Not really going for a kill, just denying control of dining. Meanwhile, the push is coming into the main lobby stairwell. The cameraman nade is gonna take out Chalet. Wilkie inside of the connector is gonna try and deny the defuse plan. Astro's gonna finish him off. Boonsy with the trade, Kantaraketty with the trade. Mav with a kill into Kanto. It's now a 1 versus 3, but there's only 10 seconds left. Smoke can deny this outright. He doesn't have any canisters, but he can simply shoot Moringa, who has pushed up to the broken mirror window. Boonsy gets a kill with this smoke canister. It's going to be down to Cameraman denying this push. He won't be able to. Well, the defuse plant gets denied. Boonsy wins the round, and ENCE put it up 2-1.
Oh my goodness. Walks right in, some great camera work there as well. The Valkyrie cam saves them at the last minute, and an enormous clutch. And ENCE now retakes the lead.
Wow, that was beautiful from ENCE. And honestly, you can't put it all into one person. There were so many different little things that added up to that round, but Cameraman peeking so the smoke was covering the gap, the rotation between the bomb sites, and allowing Boonsy to rotate into connector like that cost FONTT in the end.
Look at how top-heavy FONTT is right now.
Jeez.
Gohan is leading the way and has been the primary, member of their team tasked with killing them all. Is this, from what we've seen so far, your expert analysis, is this a situation where if they're able to isolate or cool off Gohan, that the rest of the team is going to fall apart? Or is it just simply that they've set up their play style to be able to get the most out of his fragging potential?
Okay, the whole isolate a player and deny him any ability to influence the round because he's the performer, he's the standout in this round or this match or what have you, that whole conversation has to do with the positions and roles that they play, that those players play. If it's for example, a Thermite, yes, you can predict where the Thermite's going to go, and you could set up a C4, for example. Maybe in this map, you can throw a C4 to the snowmobile garage from the main lobby, right? You can kill that player because you know he's going to be there. But if he's an anchor on defense, I don't know. It's really difficult to tell. You have to find out where the positions of these players are before you can actually shut them down, and that's not an easy task. If it's a roamer, it sometimes becomes even more complicated because, well, they could be roaming in library. They could be roaming over by master. They could be roaming in office. It has a lot to do with the players and their play styles. And just, you can't pick a name out of like a rundown and be like, yes, I'm going to shut him down. I'd like to put all my power points against him. That's not how it works.
And I also believe that Gohan, as well as he's played, we saw the stats earlier on at the very beginning of this broadcast. I think that's very telling too. Oh, what a grenade from Kanto! Gohan shut down immediately, and no bandit tricking will be there whatsoever. And they're able to open that garage up with the most haste that we've seen so far.
A gift once received, returned in kind there with that nade onto the snowmobile garage. We saw that happen to ENCE last round, and now it happens from ENCE. and we will see them put themselves in that small lead. That's very important. I think IQ, wow, what a C4! The Thatcher from Boonsy on the main balcony is going to be eliminated. Mav with the aggression into the main lobby, and I think very well calculated. That's got to be from his own cameras.
That was a nice toss, and it puts it back even. But the Thatcher has done his job. So Boonsy, even though he's not able to remain, your job is over. Your mission is over. He got that panel open alongside Wilkie, and now it's just a matter of taking care of the defense. You can see that Mav is sitting inside of the kitchen, just outside of the kitchen in the dining room, and they're waiting, and they'll see if he'll push up. Kanto is there if Mav decides to push towards any of the hatches, and I'm assuming they'll just keep Kanto static as an anti-flank to deal with it. Final minute of play. Chalet comes around the corner to see if there's anybody posted up by that boat. Nobody there. Chate's going to eliminate Cameron. Wilkie jumps in. Astro down. Kanto, Mav, Marinka goes, and ENCE a flurry as they all push in together, and in one fell swoop, all of FONTT off the board. 3-1 ENCE.
This is absolutely incredible. That round ended in the span of like 5 seconds. It went from 5-on-5 to 0-on-5. What is happening here? FONTT is getting torn asunder, and there seems to be almost little to no resistance. ENCE really putting up the game of their lives, I'd say, right here. And honestly, considering they've managed to continue their play from yesterday to today, and considering the grand finals are today, if ENCE locks this out, and they are oh so close to locking this out, and move on to the finals, they could be, and I don't think people were expecting this, but they could absolutely be a contender to win Year 2, Season 3 here in Brazil.
Our question was answered last round as well. They took out Gohan, and they weren't able to do anything else after that. And I mean, I'm aware that losing a bandit, regardless of whether it's Gohan or Astro or Camera or Mav or Maringa, it doesn't really matter who it is. Losing the bandit, your whole defense is going to crumple to a certain extent because FONTT has been very good at bandit tricking, and you need that to keep that wall intact. However, you also lose that raw fragging potential that the rest of the team so far has not been able to pick up the pieces on, and we saw it no more evident than last round.
And the question is, were they aware that it was in fact the bandit that you needed to shut down? Did they know that was going to be the player who is on the snowmobile garage to throw that nade from the IQ? Or were they just like, okay, well, let's disable the bandit, no problem? If they were aware that that was the player they were targeting, then very well thought out strategy from ENCE. But I honestly have to chalk it up a little bit. It's got to be just luck.
Well, if you saw it, I don't want to speculate too readily.
It is.
They did drone that drone hole, and they saw that the way Gohan was lying, his legs would have been visible. And by doing so, they see the legs. Because of how distinct uniforms are, it's very likely that you know that it's going to be one of the two German operators.
Right.
It could be a Jaeger, but why is Jaeger going to be lying there?
It's probably going to be bandit because, period, he's going to be bandit tricking Snowmobile Garage. GoHack going to get the first kill of this round onto Wilkie. That's a very important nade there, and I think that was actually wow. You know what that was? That was beautiful. They saw that Wilkie was waiting with his C4 out for the players to vault through the master window into master, of course, and they saw that on drone, and they went outside, and Gohan threw a nade in through kitchen window, as Wilkie just stood still and gave himself away as a big-ass target.
That's the kind of coordination that we need to see more of from FONTT, those nice, fluid pushes together, because right now, their pushes have not been synchronized even remotely close to be contesting the raw firepower that ENCE has been able to bring to this match. Now, Astro and Gohan firmly inside the building. They have taken control, and Gohan is proving so deadly. That's kill number 9 for him as he approaches double digits in round number 5, and down goes Boonsy. Your smoke, no more. And with a minute left, this is when smoke is most effective and most crucial.
This is a very different defense track coming out from ENCE, and Shati's going to get the first kill for them onto Gohan, and that is Gohan, the only one putting in work right now for FONTT, completely shut down. So that actually might be the spelling of a 5 versus 3 comeback here for ENCE. They absolutely have what it takes, and they have the positions to lock this down.
And it looks like with the way they have their Jackal position that we might see a smoke strat as well through that hatch rather than through trophy. It's going to be essentially the same thing. What do they say, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other? Doesn't really matter. They're going to try to drop hatch. Maringa, though, pushes Chalet out. You've lost your Doc and ACOG, and now he's set to jump into that window. Kanto is going to come back and manage to avoid that. He sees Maringa, and he downs him, but doesn't finish him off. And now Astro pushes in different side. Is Kanto going to be able to get him? He will. That is essentially a double. He sees Mav, and what a kill from Kanto! And they manage to take Cameraman down. Moringa bleeds out, and match point for ENCE.
Kanto walks into Trophy and says, no, you cannot have my bomb site. Please go away. And he manages to tear apart every single attacker that attempts to challenge him. A Habana coming from the Master Dropdown, a Buck, I believe, on the B window, and then later a Blackbeard, excuse me, it was a Jackal on the B window, a Blackbeard on the B window. He's got the window advantage. You can only see his shield, but Kanto manages to tear through that all the same. Wow, ENCE is on point today, and it is going to be match point, series point. It was as soon as Gohan died.
Can we just take a second here that this could be a 10-1 for ENCE, and that they had more of a struggle in the quarterfinals than they are at the moment having in the semis. This Brazilian crowd still cheering, but dampened, and ENCE in an unbelievable position to not just manage to make it out of the quarters, but also to the finals.
I'm not sure if you guys can hear it, but he's absolutely right. Every single time FONTT gets one kill, it's just cheering, cheering, cheering. They really want this comeback to happen, and it could still happen. We can't count out FONTT just yet. There is every possibility they're going to win the next 3 rounds, put it into overtime, and then win in OT, move it to the 3rd map. But that's a lot to ask for. We don't often see that.
They have only won 1 round. If they hadn't won that, there is no long shot than right now. And Bootsy, goodbye Mav. Only 4 operators remain. And can you feel that in the air? The magic of ENCE, as they only have 1 more round to potentially secure their ticket to the final. And one thing to note, if ENCE makes it to the finals, they also managed to, oh no, I was going to say FONTT, my mistake. FONTT could have guaranteed a spot at the Invitationals, and not only is a trip to this final slipping away, but the Invitational as well.
Yeah, because I believe ENCE already has a trip to the Invitational, so no matter what, if they make it to that finals, it's not going to matter. All that said, Astro is going to be the one to meet this push into the master bedroom. A lot is going to fall onto his shoulders. As you can see, ENCE hasn't wasted all that much time, but Astro needs, and as a result, Astro needs to spend time delaying here. He's going to get lit up through the office wall because of the excellent drone play and communication coordination from ENCE, but he will eventually fall back. I'd say that's the smart play. ENCE is going to still continue to take this slow. They don't want to rush themselves. They don't need to rush themselves. If they lock this out with the man advantage, then, I mean, it's going to be a wonderful feeling. So just take every precaution possible.
Final half of the round. Now Chalet is in. They see themselves at an advantage. Mav's cameras are down, and they've taken total control of the 2nd floor. There will be a Thatcher EMP that will go off. And ENCE coming as close as they have ever been to appearing in the finals. From above, Chalet will look to see if anybody is inside of dining. Astro is, but they will play a little bit of footsie as his position will not be given away. They are worrying about the clock, though. In the final minute, as they see him lying down prone, can they get the shot? They'll pick away at Astro, and that'll force him to now have to move. And they will have to push in at some point relatively soon. You can see a big question mark, though. It did look like Moringa was downstairs. And one thing that we have seen out of this ENCE team is that don't count them out. They can get kills, but Gohan will keep it alive as Panari drops. And now Wilkie doing some battles with the rest of FONTT through that trophy room window. Final 30 seconds. A smoke will go off, and we will see the same Ying strat that was before, but from below, a big C4 from Cameraman as Wilkie falls, and now Gohan goes down, but Kanto inside. You can't contain Kanto, but Astro can. A 3v1 as Bootsy now is the last hope. Could we see a clutch here? Gohan looking to try and get out, and what a kill from Bootsy. Only 2 more to go, but 10 seconds. He leaps in. Astro's down, but Moringa saves it, and FONTT keeps the dream alive.
4-2 still, but as you can see, the crowd is happy with every single kill and round that FONTT can pull away. There's still many more rounds to go here, though, for FONTT in order for them to push this into overtime, too, in fact, and they will now be forced to attack onto the wine cellar defense of ENCE, which in the past has not been so great for them.
Now, both wins from FONTT have come on defense.
Yep.
So that means ENCE has been undefeated on defense this whole series. Can we see that break? And take a listen to the crowd. I wish we could show you the enthusiasm of 1,000 Brazilian fans bringing their team back to life. Gohan, a Herculean effort of 11 kills, but Kanto at 8, not too far behind.
Well, let's be honest. The split between Kanto and the rest of his team is much, much better than the split that we're seeing on FONTT. I mean, Gohan, 11 kills. If he did not have 11 kills right now, if he were not stepping up, this would have been a 5-0. Simply put, there's no way that this would not have been a 5-0. That said, like we talked about, FONTT has their biggest challenge ahead right now on this round because they need to win their first attack, and it's going to be difficult. We'll see how they choose to do that, if they're going to go for Snowmobile or if they'll push in towards the Wine Cellar. In the past, we've seen a lot of Snowmobile focus. It's been a Snowmobile bar attack from both of these teams onto the basement, and it looks like that's going to be the same story here from FONTT yet again. As they push into the gaming room, that'll be the next step, or the first step, into taking bar. Once they have bar, open the drop down, open up the Snowmobile garage, establish crossfire, and deny the rotations from connector and the rotation that is often opened up between the bomb sites, and then plant the diffuser under cover of smoke. That is what FONTT wants to do here.
They've just started to work their way into the building. They need to be very wary of that time because one thing that FONTT has been consistently doing is a poor job of time management. They have always stalled out, and as much as we want to give praise to ENCE for being able to capitalize on late round pushes, in your experience, I'm sure you would agree, it's not always that difficult to stop it when you know where they're coming from in the final 10 to 15 seconds.
You're absolutely right. I mean, on that last round, Kanto Raketti, he essentially killed a bunch of people in a bottleneck. He knew exactly where those players were, but it's the way that he did it that was so masterful. It was the fact that he did it that was so masterful, and it's the fact that he did it against FONTT, of all teams, that was so masterful, that made that go down as an excellent clutch in Pro League history. Now, this is half of the round already expended, and FONTT have opened up a lot of control, but not enough control to merit a kill or even force any of the defenders out of positions that they play. So FONTT needs to step it up here.
Kanto heads up towards Cameraman, but you can see he'll hold back. They have these grenades primed and ready, and one will go down, and Kanto just out of reach of it as Wilkie looks ready to creep up those back stairs. Cameraman still doing some remodeling in the great room, and you can see a C4 will go off, and Cameraman loses all but a portion of his health. Astro creeping down, and Wilkie not looking. Astro gets the first kill, and the crowd surges. Now he pulls back. He's not going to feed himself into Kanto, who has been so good today, not just in map number 1, but in map number 2 as well. He gets flashed, completely blinded. Astro able to capitalize. That's his second, and we hit the final 40 seconds of round number 7. Some significant signs of life for FONTT as they look to claw back and string together possibly a second round. Chalet goes down now too, a 5v2, and it's all up to Boontsy and Panari to try and clutch this out. And time is going to be a bigger factor than the two. Astro comes around the corner, Panari gets the first kill, and a smoke for Boontsy as now Panari tries to go after Moringa, but he gets eliminated by camera from above, and as Gohan finishes off Boontsy, FONTT 4-3.
An absolutely electric crowd there, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen. They want that FONTT win. We've been talking about it, but it's just ever present here in this studio. Now, Wine Cellar, Snowmobile Garage, going to be the defense from FONTT. ENCE, they have had mixed results here, I believe, but overall have been pretty much successful. The attack strategy going to be very similar to the one that we just saw from FONTT. They're going to isolate all of the roamers. They're going to push in from Snowmobile Garage. They're going to open up that bar drop down in all likelihood. I would be most interested, though, if they didn't do what is likely. I would be interested to see a Wine Cellar attack come from ENCE right now. They need to mix things up. We are one round away from overtime, which I think the moral implications of that are extreme in this instance.
If we go to overtime, we've got to suspect that FONTT has taken not just all the momentum from this, but the energy from that crowd. If we go to overtime, FONTT is very likely going to be able to take this map and then move us on to Oregon, and they're going to have all of the wind behind their sails.
Absolutely. Now, ENCE setting themselves up just to take this nice and slow. We've been seeing great patience for them on attack and defense both, and I think they need to continue that trend. Cantor-Raketti going to get onto the tower again. He's done this a couple times before. Astro might actually want to challenge this, a very dangerous prospect. Going hollow against ACOG, and Cantor-Raketti, one of the greatest shots.
They're going to drone him out, and he's going to get spotted, but he's not going to give his position away just yet. He's going to go back, and you can hear the crowd is getting antsy.
They're trying to tell Astro not to peek it. Don't peek it, Astro.
And I guess they're gonna test the soundproof nature of those boots, that's for certain. They do have the exothermic charge down on the garage, waiting for it to blow, and Chalet able to sweep in and trench on those back stairs, and maybe pressure Cameraman inside of that wine cooler, the wine stock room, but no, nothing yet.
And as you can see, the Kanto Astro face-off not going to turn out any results, and life will move on. ENCE continuing to slow push this. Looks like they're setting up for a wine cellar attack. This is what I was hoping to see, but will it work out for them?
Either it's jammed, which it isn't because there's no mute jammer, or they are waiting to blow it in synchronization to apply pressure. There we go. The exothermic charge does sound like it will get hit off, and now they'll try to push. In through wine cellar they'll go. They'll try to flush out Cameraman, but a big kill from him as Gohan joins in. As down goes Chalet and Wilkie, but Bootsy barges in, and the Mira off the board. Gohan, a quick refrag before Panari eliminates him. And now it's a 2v3 with 1 minute to go. Kanto is going to inhale some of those toxic gases, and they're going to even it up at 2-2. And now Moringa's down. It's all left to Mav. The one lone Valkyrie will need to retake the site. Diffuser going down, and FONTT's lone hope stands on the Valkyrie. He'll creep around and he'll see Panari from above, but boom! ENCE takes it. The curse is dead and the dream lives on. ENCE to the finals.